So you guys know by now I like to do a lot of videos in regards to home gym equipment and even building home gyms. In fact, they've been some of my more popular videos the past year or so. As part of that, I understand that not everybody has the same budget I do, and people are looking for different things, and oftentimes we don't want to go to the same supplier for everything because there's different companies out there that make a lot of great equipment. So what I'm aiming to do in this particular video is just highlighting some very affordable yet very effective equipment from a couple different manufacturers so you can build the ultimate home gym at the ultimate price. So let's start with the most important part of any gym, and that's the barbell. Now this is the only piece of equipment that will be used for all compound movements and is your direct link to the weights. If there's one thing to invest money in up front, I really suggest a good barbell here. Now my recommendation is the Rogue Ohio Power Bar, and that's because there's not another bar in the market that compete with the quality to price ratio that this bar brings. Now there's a lot of options when it comes to the finish here, and if you prefer pounds or kilos, but for the sake of trying to be somewhat budget conscious, I'd actually suggest the Bare Steel 45-pound bar, and that's assuming of course you plan on keeping up with your regular bar maintenance, and this bar retails for $250. I will however mention currently Rogue has some of the 20 kg Ohio Power Bars in their Boneyard section for the same price, which is a $75 discount. Now this bar is great and it's ideal for squatting, benching, and deadlifting, and shipping on these isn't very much either, adding just about $15 based off my own location. Next, let's talk power racks. For this build, I'd suggest a full cage, and although you could very well use a half cage and have it be sufficient, I think the extra money for a full cage makes sense as it opens up a ton of options for other movements, not to mention add-on accessories in the future. Here I'd suggest the Titan T3 Short Power Rack, the 36-inch depth version. Now, Titan Fitness has come a long way in terms of its quality of products, and although quality control isn't always perfect, they offer a good product at a good price. Now, this particular rack comes with J-cups, safety pins, pull-up bars, and plate storage, which can really help if you don't plan on bolting your rack to the floor. So basically, this rack has everything you'll need to get started. Again, it's the short version, which means it will easily fit in a basement or garage with lower ceilings. It also has a 36-inch depth, which I find more ideal for squatting and other movements compared to the 24-inch depth version. Titan also offers a wide variety of attachments and are always coming out with new affordable products if you'd like to get creative. Perhaps the biggest benefit of Titan besides their cost is the fact they have free shipping, which greatly helps when you consider this rack weighs close to 300 pounds. All in, this rack will run about $389. So let's move on to talk about benches. For this build, I'm suggesting a flat bench. Now you could look at an incline option, but that will be more costly, and I find for most, a flat position is used more than an incline one. Here I'd suggest the FB 5000 competition bench from Rep Fitness. This bench has a lot of great things going for it as it meets IPF specs for height, width, and length. It's built from heavy-duty 3x3 steel and has wheels and a handle for easy movement, and features a single foot design in front so it won't get in the way of any foot placement when benching. This bench retails for $119, but with shipping, you're looking at a cost of about $165. I should note that soon they will be upgrading this model with a new grippier vinyl, as well as a fat pad option for those interested. Next, I'd like to talk about flooring and platforms. Now this piece is optional, but I believe it's a very good investment to not only protect your floors, but also your equipment. Here I'd suggest getting stall mat from your local Tractor Supply store. Mats run about $43 on average, although they occasionally go on sale. I'd suggest purchasing a total of 3 mats, roughly $130. 2 of them will be used to go under your rack. Putting them together will give you a base of 6 by 8 feet, and the third mat will be used to build the deadlift platform, which will also require some wood. Now please note that you could build a deadlift platform by stacking stall mats, but I think using wood provides better protection, looks cooler, and can save you some money. For the wood, you can go to your local home improvement store, and I suggest getting 2 pieces of 3/4 inch thick, 4 foot by 8 foot plywood. The wood choice is up to you. I personally prefer to get wood that is in the middle range for price because going the cheap route saves money, but the quality is poor and oftentimes the pieces are bowed, which makes for some unevenness when pulling. There are plenty of platform tutorials on YouTube on how to build these, but the basics are you take 1 layer of plywood to be used as the base. You would then have the second piece of plywood cut in half, leaving you with a 4 by 4 foot center piece. You take your extra stall mat and cut 2 strips that are 2 foot by 4 foot, and you put these pieces on the side of the center piece. You can then use wood screws, glue, or whatever else you may have laying around the house to secure the pieces together. You can also get fancy and stain the wood, put a layer of polyurethane over it, or even your own platform decal. You'll also have leftover 2 by 4 piece of stall mat, which I like to cut in half again, giving me 2 2x2 pieces that can then be used to stand on for deficit deadlifts or placed under the weights for a slight raised variation. The only thing you'll need now are Olympic weights, and for this I'd defer to you based off your own lifting preferences and budget. Depending on your strength levels, the amount of weight will vary, and depending on what you train for, it might make more sense to go with bumpers, regular steel plates, or even calibrated plates. For many, however, it makes more sense to buy budget steel plates locally, and oftentimes weights may be found secondhand on Craigslist or used sporting goods stores. So there you go. That's what I would recommend if you're building your own home gym and want to keep it somewhat budget friendly. Now, it is true you can get a lot of this stuff for a lot less, but the downside is you're usually going to see a pretty big drop in quality, both in the terms of the equipment, the customer service, and so forth, and maybe just the effectiveness of what you're going to be using it for. So I did keep that in mind when doing this own home gym build. Now, if you have other suggestions or recommendations, please leave that in the comment section below, or if you have any of the pieces of equipment here that I highlighted, make sure you let everyone else know watching what you think of it so they can get some other real-world advice. In the meantime, as always, thanks for watching and stay big.